This is the third video in my Black Souls Experience playlist. You can find the other two linked in the description down below. This game is also an H game, so viewer discretion is advised. Now, let's begin. I wish other games gave you the opportunity to skip prologues and intros like this game. And while it would make sense to go for a different flavor of Alice, I just like Emotos too much. Too bad they're usually the worst girls in the anime that focus on them. Alright, let's go. After speaking to the Cheshire Cat, I immediately went to the Black Rapid Knight Vernai to start his quest and unlock the bonfire. Once again, Vernai tells me to go through Wonderland without thinking, but last time I did that, I lost my head. So this time, I have a plan. Killing Jub Jub will be my highest priority, everything else will be secondary. So, let's fight the boss in order to get out of Rabbit Hole. This will be super easy, barely an inconvenient. What? What? I was expecting this to be a very easy playthrough, yet I can't even beat the first boss on New Game Plus. It's cool that upgrading his sword all the way and equipping it does change his boss fight. I did try fighting him a couple times, but I feared I wasn't doing enough damage. Could have sworn my numbers were bigger last play. Oh right, the Tick Biter! After defeating the dark-skinned lowly monster girl, I maxed out her covenant and then stole her food. I'm not sure where she snatched it from, but because she's a very magnanimous soul, she forgave me. I went back to the dragon-slaying bunny and died in one hit. Well, two, but it was from a single attack. Yeah, I think I'll just deal with this my next playthrough. I'm supposed to be focusing on killing Jub Jub anyway, not this thing, and going to Bandersnatch to get her covenant did increase my progress, so I should stop wasting time and just go for that. I switched my weapon, killed the first boss in one hit, and then went to Lutwidge town. For some reason, everything is different here. Jub Jub did not fly off north, the werewolf monster didn't show up, and Holmes was oddly missing. I was hoping to kill the werewolf this time, but I'll do it later, I guess. For now, Jub Jub. Or, I guess, Edith's ring first. Time for the mental ward. After proving my OCD treatments didn't work during my last playthrough, I was once again let inside. As a perpetual idiot, I did consume 35 black souls and went through the ward with about as much sanity as the rest of the clientele here. For some reason, instead of seeing Tweedledee and Tweedledum like I did in my last playthrough, I saw two demon beasts who vanished when I got too close to them. Also, there's a bunch of babies missing their faces here. I think that's normal. Yeah, no. I restarted my game so I could redo everything in high SEN because this just feels wrong. Also, missing Holmes, Jub Jub, and the werewolf monster from earlier feels like I've screwed up something for this playthrough. It was actually this moment that made me committed to the high SEN route. Kind of. You'll see. So yeah, I killed the first boss's normal form, opting to skip Bandersnatch this time. Jub Jub still didn't appear, but the red werewolf and Holmes did, so that's good. Upon fighting the boss, there was a weird glitch that caused the music to change once I first dealt damage to it. After killing the boss, I went to speak with Holmes while one of my friends watching me told me I was literally blind. I had no idea why though and continued playing the game as normal. Back at the mental ward, everything was normal. I can't covenant the Tweedle twins yet, so I just went and killed Edith. Afterwards, I watched the tweens make out and covenanted them. I also began the process of NTRing Dumb. Then I went to Dorothy to get her fairy tale and went to the bridge for the first boss fight. I summoned the ugly duckling to get his fairy tale, and then got the bonfire in the little cemetery. You may be wondering why I came here first, but it's because I'm an idiot. I returned to Lutwidge and went through the Park of Fog. I spoke to the Cheshire Cat and realized she was oddly missing from the little cemetery bonfire from earlier, but whatever. It's not like I need her to be there. Anyway, I made my way through the rest of Lutwidge and fought Holmes. Unfortunately, I forgot to equip Edith's ring for the fight, so next time. I'll do it next time, I hope. I made it through Oxford and to the Endless Tea Party. This time we actually have NPCs to talk to, as the tea party had in fact ended before I got here my first playthrough. We have the Mad Hatter, Dormouse, and the March Hare. These girls are fun. I like them. Seriously, if you play this game, you should exhaust all their dialogue. One of them has the funniest lines of dialogue I've ever seen in an H game. Anyway, I was afraid I wouldn't be strong enough for Jub Jub, so I went and got the Bandersnatch Covenant again and then came back. I don't know if that was necessary, as Jub Jub and Peter Pan went down really easily. Afterwards, I faced the most complicated moral dilemma every man has to face at some point in his life. Do I kill this woman? Or do I rape this woman? With that taken care of, let's go get all the covenants. I went back to the little cemetery and went west to the Pond of Bloody Tears to speak to the smug titty bird. After leaving the area and coming back, the race she was hosting was over, and I was able to covenant her and get her Dodo sprint ability. Wow, that would have been helpful my last playthrough. Dodo is adorable, a really precious woman. She has the body of a wife, but she's not the brightest cheese in the tool shed. So you know, still smarter than the average VTuber. Anyway, after doing her, I went to the Mushroom Forest for the next covenant. Completely forgot this place existed, but eventually I did meet Shisha the Pothead. Now I do appreciate Monster Girls, but this seems a bit hard to get into, for me anyway. She didn't want to talk to me, so I tried leaving, at which point she stopped me and begged me to come back to talk to her. Fucking tsunderes, I swear. After IGTAing her, she told me to go speak to the Duchess and gave me a master key. I guess she isn't all that bad. She then asked me if I had met Volgova jail, but I haven't sent anyone to jail yet, so I said no. Apparently, she's referring to Dodo, and told me to tell her to stop being stupid, but stupid is as stupid does, and I covenant Shisha as well. After maxing her covenant, I decided to get high with her. Somehow, this increased my level, so I smoked a few more joints with her and left. Man, I hope there weren't any downsides for getting a free lunch. My friend told me to go back, and I realized that maybe dropping a gallon of acid together wasn't a good idea. She wanted me to kill her, but I said no and left. But then my friend told me to go back yet again, and she turned into a demon beast. Oops. I reloaded the game and decided not to do shrooms with the crazy caterpillar lady. I went back to the Smuggety Bird and told her she should go flaunt her new boyfriend, me, to her best friend. She then vaults over a fucking waterfall. Back at the Spore Forest, Shisha and Dodo are talking about her new lover, only for Shisha to start choking on her pipe when she realizes it's us, and remembers what we did together. But Dodo boldly declares that our love for each other is deeper than any mountain, and higher than any sea. So Shisha decides to test the truth of such a statement. Now, obviously, only a heartless moron would abandon Dodo here. So I saved after declaring my love for her, and then reloaded an earlier save so I could make her cry. After reloading the I Love Dodo save, I went to the Mushroom Village and tried figuring out what to do here again. It was at this point I remembered that I got the gear from Jub after killing her that lets me change my SEN at will, so I dropped my SEN to 0 to see if it changed something. Lo and behold, a new area appeared with a new boss. The boss was pretty easy though, so after this fight I went to the Duchess's mansion after setting my SEN back to 100. Though I did set my SEN to 0 for a couple of rooms in the Duchess's mansion. There was one empty room that served no purpose, but with your SEN at 0, it has a door with a mouth in it. Which is weird. Also, the room next door has a portrait that says "Where's Alice" on it. With my SEN back at 100, I went to the Infinite Food and cleared the dungeon there so I could then go and make contact with the Duchess and get her covenant. Also, you can apparently bring Dodo here, and while I'm interested in seeing what happens, I couldn't bring myself to do that. I went to the Cathedral afterwards and unlocked its massive gaping hole in the sanctuary that I missed in my first playthrough because I'm literally blind and went inside to get a very lovely sight. Or at least I thought it was a lovely sight. It was actually a trap though. After covenanting Bill, I did not get any of his CGs and instead decided to leave him on red for the rest of the playthrough. Lorena was next on my list, because she was just next door. After her, I went to the beach past Wuhan and met Mock Turtle for the first time. It was at this point my friends watching me realized I never met Griffey, and one of them freaked out saying that my entire playthrough was now pointless as I could not get all the covenants. Turns out that was not correct and I had a heart attack for no reason, but it certainly got my endorphins going. Griffey apparently does not have a covenant, so she's not actually necessary. Still would have been nice to do her questline though. Mock Turtle is cute. She's basically this game's girl failure. Would recommend. I also turned my SEN to 0 to check out the area with no SEN and found a flame on the beach. Should I be seeing this now? Yeah, I should probably stop doing that. I set my SEN back to 100 and went under the sea where I finally met the walrus everyone was talking about my last playthrough. Or walrus, I guess. Not sure what's up with the name discrepancy. I wasn't allowed to covenant her though, so I went past her and fought that fish that ate Jonah in the Bible. Well, fought is a very generous way to describe what happened. After running by him several times, I found the actual boss here. A Big Daddy. He proceeded to one-shot me. Yeah, I'll, be back later. I went and killed the bitch at the bottom of the Pond of Bloody Tears. It turns out I was right, she was supposed to transform when her BGM changed in my last playthrough. Well, doesn't matter, she's dead either way. Past her, I got Victoria'd, and then went back to the library dream where all the lights got cut out. What? What's going on here? Note doesn't say anything about it, so I'm really confused about this. Anyway, I've unlocked the final boss door, but I still have more covenants to unlock. Turns out, this is my first time actually speaking to Node this run. I've been stockpiling all my souls because I hadn't really needed to level up so far. I decided not to spend them yet, as I might need to start buying candy or ore shards soon. Instead, I went back to the ocean to fight the Deep Sea Knight. He ground pounded me so hard that my computer crashed. I challenged him several times, and after half an hour, I did finally succeed with my summoned help of Pinocchio and Puppet. Past the boss fight, I found this cutie. If the boss was a Big Daddy, Does that make her a little sister? I don't know, but she checks us out and immediately vows to have our babies. Grim just does that to women. That said, her interactions are a bit weird. It's like every time I talk to her, she just wants to make children. She feels different from the other covenants in the game, probably due to the fact that you can make babies without even advancing her covenant all the way. I also don't remember her in any of the Alice in Wonderland media either, but then again, that may have to do with my goldfish memory. Doesn't really matter, I guess. I went back to the train station Hanover and then to Queensland. I immediately went back and saw Victoria had returned. I covenanted her, and somehow this did not require me dying at all. Afterwards, I went to Prickett's concert hall and found out that I had completely missed an actual concert with commissioned music my last run. I made a covenant with Prickett and then used the gear Amandus to go to Zero SEN. For some reason, she is one of the 3 NPCs not to transform into a demon beast at low SEN. There's bound to be lore reasons for this, but I just can't figure out what they are. At this point, I still did not trust Prickett at all whatsoever. I still took her out on a date though. I did all the things I did on my last run too, only for my friend to tell me to go do the haunted house again, multiple times. He had said it as if I missed something, but after the 4th or 5th time of him just going, "Hey, you should go do the haunted house again," I thought he was just gaslighting me, but no, on my final run through, I actually did get a new event. Of course I didn't have Prickett's ring equipped, because I didn't know I needed her ring equipped, and my friend didn't tell me for some reason. I thought it was weird that Alice suddenly showed up and then vanished with Prickett giving some cryptic messaging. Keep in mind, I completely forgot that Prickett's ring even existed at this point, and this was something I only found out later that I missed. After the date, I went to the basement and punched Leaf in the stomach, then reloaded and set her free again, only to kill her a second time. Then reloaded and spoke to her again at Zero SEN, but that didn't change anything, so I set my SEN back high and left to go back to Walrus. I tell her that the carpenter has died and she immediately forgets about him and forms a new covenant with me. Then the Duchess oh-ho-hos herself through the door behind us and demands oysters. Don't have any, so I have to go find some, and guess what? I did. She's also a Turbo Mesugaki though, so I corrected her and then left. My friend told me that I needed to beat Miranda 9 times with her getting progressively stronger each time, so I went and did that. She was so strong that she was killing me in one hit each attempt, so I had to get a bit creative. Starting with the Ondor Sword +5 to get extra turns, switching weapons to get bonus critical hits, and using unique weapon skills, I had to find a way to kill her before she could act each fight. There was even one instance where we both KO'd each other. It counted as her win though. After finally beating her 9 times, she gave me her axe. Love this woman. After my date with Miranda, I went to the slaughterhouse and killed the boss and then brought the chicken head man to see the snow. He then told me to eat him. I had to tell him that eating a cock would make him dead, and me a homosexual, so he should go find Bill instead. Continuing on through the Carroll River, I found Humpty Dumpty. He told me he was pregnant with my child. I just need to give him souls for our child to grow healthy and strong. So I did because I was ecstatic that I was finally going to be a father. Sadly, my husband died during childbirth. I still chose to raise our daughter to the best of my ability. Unfortunately, I'm in an H game, so to the best of my ability is a very concerning statement to be making in this situation. Feels bad. The yoke is bad. You are bad. I made my way to the other side of the river so I could speak to Jabberwock and max out the covenant with her. At this point, my friend asked to see my covenant list and confirmed that I had maxed them all out. So now I had to go back to the library dream and see what fairy tales I still needed. Node was asleep, so I went to talk to her, but then backed out of the dialogue as one of my friends said I could apparently do that. Node wasn't really asleep, she was just trying to tempt me to treat her like my other waifus. I went to the library to deposit all the fairy tales I had accumulated and found out that I was missing several, some of which I had no way of obtaining now. Whoops, yeah, I fucked up. But no worries, my friend told me that while it is recommended to get all the fairy tales on your high SEN run, it is also completely possible to do it on a low SEN run. It just requires a lot of micromanagement. After this revelation, I sought consolation in Node's nodes and then gave up my search for Alice. Node took me to see my daughters. In just a few moments, they will be born. Now, don't avert your eyes. A lot of demon beast eggs suddenly erupt and spill forth multiple copies of all the people I have covenanted throughout the game. And Griffey for some reason. Also, we're missing a couple of others. Jabberwock, Bandersnatch, Jub, Walrus, Cutie, Lorena, or Prickett. Well, Walrus and Cutie were DLC covenants, so that kinda makes sense. The others, however, leave me to be suspicious about things. Jub, Bandersnatch, and Jabberwock were mentioned by Node to be great evils. But why were Lorena and Prickett missing? I think Lorena was mentioned by Node, but she also felt very different from the other three. At this point, I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that something was up. Also, spoiler alert, but this is probably the happiest ending Grim can get in the entire series. He's a father now, yay! Too bad we can't have nice things. Back at Victoria, I speak to her and she immediately smells the scent of Leaf. Even though the Victoria from Black Souls 1 was just a copy of this one, it seems that this one does know Leaf. Not at all fond of her though. Leaf locked her in a white prison and manipulated her mind. But the Victoria in Black Souls 1 said that she was a fake, so I'm guessing Leaf took memories from the real Victoria and stitched them together to create the fake from the first game. The real Victoria despises her for that and requests that I kill her, so I did just that, because fuck Leaf. If I'm given 10 chances to kill her, I will do so 11 times. Returning to Victoria reveals that this was entirely pointless. Oh well, no harm done. Time to finish the game. I passed through the door at the top of the library dream and all the events played out just like in the previous run. Except this time I didn't make love to Alice. I killed her. The end. So, this video ended up being a lot shorter than I was thinking it would be. Probably because a lot of what I was going to say about it, I ended up saying in the last video. Again, this is the third video in my Black Souls Experience series. Please go and watch the previous videos if you have not. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you liked it, as it would help me in the algorithm, which YouTube doesn't like adding these videos to because it's a fucking hentai game. I will begin work on the Low SEN Experience video shortly after this one comes out. I thought about adding it to this one because I don't think that one will be very long either, but it's probably easier to watch shorter videos for people than long ones, so I decided to make them separate. Once that one's out of the way, I could start working on the real Black Souls Experience video.